Good morning to all. Myself Shasana, and today we are going to talk about the light. Now, I think that some of you get scared of this darkness, isn't you? So, why do we get scared from the darkness? That's because we are not able to see something. We are not able to see anything in the dark room or any dark place. So, why can't we see anything in the darkness? That's because of the light. Now, we can see something with the help of the light. If there is no light, so we will be not able to see something, anything. That's because there is no light. And light helps us to see. Now, today we are going to talk about light. So now let's start talking about the light. So first question is that, is light a traveler? Now, is light a traveler? Now it is a very interesting question. So now first let's understand what is a traveler. So traveler is somebody which travel from one place to another. Now, does a light travel? If the light travels, so we can say that the light is a traveler. First, does a light travel? Now, if you are going to slow the time down, if you will really slow the time, so you will see that from the light bulb in a room, let's imagine a room. So from the light bulb, the light takes the time, or the light travels from that light bulb to the whole room. Let's imagine that this is a room. Now this is the room. Now let's imagine that here is the light. Here somewhere here there is a tube light. Now the light will travel from this tube light to all the corners of the room. So let's imagine this corner here. So the light will travel from the tube light or from the bulb to whole room, to all the corners of the room. Yes. So that's why we can say that the light is a traveler. That's because it travels. It travels from the one point to the other. Now, so if we are done with this question, so now let's have another question. What is the speed of light? Now, if you want to know the speed of the light, let's imagine that here. So firstly, if you will take a second and divide it into 1 billion parts. 1 billion parts. Let me write down what is a billion. So this much is the 1 billion. So if you will take the second and divide it into billion parts, each part will be called as nanosecond. So we can say that, what is a nanosecond? A nanosecond is 1 billionth part of the second. Yes. Now, if you are of the light. So if you will imagine that you are in a, let's say, nanosecond world where the time flew nanosecond by nanosecond by nanosecond, then you will see that the light takes the time to reach to the further places, to the further corners of the room. Let's see that. So what is the speed of the light here? The speed of the light is 1 foot per nanosecond. So the speed of the light is 1 foot per nanosecond. Now, here is the speed of the light given in the nanosecond. Yes. Now, what if we want to know the speed of the light in by the seconds? And it is nanosecond. It is a little or quite hard to imagine that. Now, let's see the speed of the light in the seconds. So, the speed of the light in the second is 3 lakh kilometer per second. Can you imagine the speed of the light? 3 lakh kilometer per second. We can't even travel 100 meters, or let's imagine 50 meters only in 1 second, and the light travels 3 lakh kilometer in a second, in just a second. So that's what the speed of the light is. That's how fast the light is. Can you imagine this? Now, this was the speed of light. So that was the speed of the light. 1 foot per nanosecond, or 3 lakh kilometer. I am saying kilometer here. 3 lakh kilometer per second. So, I think that the speed of the light is clear to you. And now, let's move on and let's talk more about the light. So now, do you know that there are some objects which stop the light to pass through them, and there are some objects which allow some of the light to pass through them, and also there are some objects which allows the light to pass through them. So these 3 types of objects are named on this type of properties. Now let's study all of them. Now let's start studying about the objects which do not allow the light to pass through them. So they are known as opaque objects. Now what are the opaque objects? The objects which do not allow the light to pass through them. These objects do not allow light to pass through them. So, these objects do not allow the light to pass through them. They are known as opaque objects. Now, what are the examples of the opaque object? There are so many, yes? Like the wood, the metals, and also we are also opaque. If you want to see, so I have here a phone here with the light, as you can see. And now let's see. So here, can you see that my hand is stopping the light? Yes, there is a dark region. Can you see this thing? So that means that we are stopping the light. Yes, my hand is not allowing the light to pass through it. And can you able to see the board which is behind my hand? No. So that means that the light is not passing through my hand, and that's why you can't see the board, or you can't see the surface behind my hand. So that means that the examples of the opaque objects are the wood, metals, and we are also opaque, as we had seen it now. And now let's talk about another type of object which allows some of the light to pass through it. Now that objects which allows the some of the light to pass through them is known as translucent objects. Translucent objects. Now, let's see the definition of these type of objects. So, these are the objects which allows some of the light to pass through it. So they are known as translucent objects. Now let's see our last type of object, and now let's study about that also. So I think you guessed that they are transparent objects. Now they are transparent objects. Now what is the definition of that? So the objects which allows light to pass through them. So the objects which allow the light to pass through them is known as transparent objects. Now what are the examples of these? Like the polythene, very thin polythene sheet, and if you look from that, you can see the surface, or you can see the space, the thing which is behind it. So they are known as transparent objects because they allows the light to pass through them. And do you know that this property, the property of which, by which the light can pass through any object is known as transparency. So the transparent objects has the property of transparency. Now I think that this much is clear to you, and in my next video we are going to explore more about the light. So for now, let's end our video over here. Thank you for watching this video, and have a cheerful day ahead. If you want any improvement in me, so you can comment it in the comment box. Thank you.